So, let's dive into a really fascinating paradox. We live in a world that is completely obsessed with convenience and comfort. But why do some people, especially from older generations, seem to find meaning not in ease, but in struggle? You've probably seen this before, right? Maybe with a parent or a grandparent. Our modern world is all about shortcuts and life hacks, but they just seem to take the long way around. It's almost like they're deliberately avoiding an easy life. So, what's the deal with that? You've really got two clashing philosophies here. On one side, you've got the modern ideal, a life that's been engineered for maximum comfort and, minimum friction. But on the other side, there's this totally different worldview that really values resilience, the kind of strength that's only built by facing challenges head on. And these two ways of looking at the world, they're fundamentally at odds. And all of this leads us to what we can call the comfort paradox. It's this deep, deep contradiction in what we assume drives people. I mean, for a lot of us, the path of least resistance is, well, it's the one we take, right? It's the default. But for this other group we're talking about, the goal isn't a hard life, not at all. It's a meaningful one. And for them, meaning is found somewhere beyond just pure comfort. It's not that they go looking for hardship. They just don't prioritize ease. So where does a mindset like this even come from? Well, to get the answer, we've got to look back to a time when life's guarantees were few and far between. The roots of this whole perspective, it turns out, almost always lie in those early formative years. Think about it. For generations who grew up during times of real scarcity, like the Great Depression or in post-war eras, the number one goal wasn't feeling good, it was surviving. And that one single priority, it completely rewires your entire approach to life. And that kind of reality, it forges a very specific set of values. Resourcefulness isn't some cool life hack you see online. It's an absolute necessity. Frugality isn't a trendy lifestyle choice. It's the very foundation of stability. The entire focus just shifts from short-term pleasure to long-term security. Every single decision gets measured against that one standard. So this kind of upbringing, it doesn't just teach you a few lessons. It actually builds an entire psychological framework. It builds a mindset of deep, deep resilience. And this is what's often called the survival mindset. In this framework, your value isn't measured by how comfortable you are, but by your proven ability to endure what life throws at you. Your self-worth comes from knowing you can handle tough times simply because you've done it before. Strength and endurance, those become the ultimate virtues. And this quote right here, it gets to the absolute heart of it all. It's not about enjoying pain, no way. It's about trusting the person you become after you've fought through a real challenge. A stronger, more capable, more resilient version of yourself. Okay, this brings us to a really, really critical distinction we have to make, and that's the difference between respecting struggle and romanticizing it. They are not the same thing. So look, on one side you have respecting struggle. This is all about the outcome, the growth, the learning, the strength you gain. Here, struggle is just a means to an end. But on the other side, you have romanticizing struggle. And this is where pain itself is glorified, as if suffering for its own sake is somehow noble. The survival mindset we're exploring, it is firmly, firmly about the outcome, not about the pain. So the key, the absolute crucial difference, is seeing struggle as a tool. Think of it like a chisel that sculpts character, or the fire that forges steel. The focus is always on what's being built, not on the discomfort of the process itself. It's a very pragmatic view of hardship, not some poetic one. All right, so this is a really fascinating peek into the psychology of the past. But why does it matter so much to us, right here, right now? Well, for one, understanding this mindset helps bridge those very real generational divides, in our families, in our workplaces. When we can finally grasp the why behind someone's actions, we can start to see that there are different and equally valid definitions of a good life. And that understanding, it opens the door for empathy instead of judgment. And, this isn't just about understanding others. It's a huge chance for self-reflection. It kind of forces us to look in the mirror and ask about our own relationship with comfort. How has this constant push for an easier life shaped our own values, our own resilience, and what we even consider a life well lived? Which leaves us with one last big question to think about. In a world that is literally designed to eliminate friction at every turn, what have we gained? And what might we be losing in the process? In an age of endless convenience, what really is the value of struggle?